Oh, welcome back. Welcome back to the history session of e-learning. In this I'll be continuously teaching you about the 13 arts and crafts that we learned in our last class. Maybe some of you must have forgotten what we have learned. So, let's recall. My dear students, what did we learn in 13 arts and crafts in our last session? Do you remember? Okay, so number 1, what was that? Okay, shizo. Number 2, dozo. Number 3, pazo. Number 4, hazo. Number 5, jimzo. And finally, number 6, lunzo. Did we cover only that much? No. We also covered shazo. You must have forgotten. Anyways, we have now recollected what we have learned. My expectation at the end of the lesson remains the same, my dear students. My expectation is by the end of the lesson, you should be able to name all 13 arts and crafts of Bhutan, suggest some means of preserving our culture and tradition, and write down some importance of preserving the 13 arts and crafts of Bhutan. Did you get that? Now, to move further, our next craft is blacksmithing or gazo. The gazo, the art of gazo, is not much familiar in Bhutan. That is because we do not practice the skill much. It is only in few places and in few places that they practice. And this is a skill that is fading away, endangered, like any other 13 arts and crafts that I have already mentioned in our earlier sessions. Now, to talk about gazo, Duptup Tangta Gelpo. Duptup Tangta Gelpo, have you heard about Duptup Tangta Gelpo? He is a well-skilled gazo. He is well known for his engineering skill in building the iron bridges. The one very prominent example that you can see is Tachol Hagang. Tachol Hagang, if you cross the highway from Paro to Thimphu or Thimphu to Paro, you will see it in the middle. Otherwise, don't worry, my dear student, if you have not heard or not known about Tachol Hagang, although you should know. You can also see the remains of other bridges, the irons of other bridges in Paro Museum. If you happen to go there, or maybe in the future, you should visit Paro Tazo so that you can see these remains and you're part of the history as well. When we talk about blacksmithing, the art of blacksmithing, we have to understand that it is another dying art. And this art is only practiced by the Tibetan settlers who are residing at Tashigang. So therefore, my dear friends, you need to understand this, that lot of our skills, lot of our culture is not preserved and is dying at the stake of dying. So this is something you need to think. The next topic or the next craft I'm going to talk about is tricot. Tricot is gold and silver smith. Now, this art used to be very famous in the past because people used to carry betel nut and the famous pane, doma and pane, in the containers that were carved by our Bhutanese skilled workers. But now it doesn't happen. You go to a shop, you buy doma, which is in the plastic. You create plastic waste. On top of that, you're not preserving your own skill. So therefore, in the olden days, or maybe let's say the art of jewelry making or the art of ornament making is becoming famous. But we are choosing not to buy. If the local people like us choose not to buy our local products, who would? The notion that we have is that the culture and the tradition that we have to preserve it. But the products of it, who is buying these products? Only tourists are buying this product. My dear fellow mates, you need to rethink on buying local. The next topic is cane and bamboo weaving, which is famously known in Bhutan as tazo. Tazo, there are many types of products on tazo. One of the very famous product, as I have here, is bangchung. A bangchung was used in olden days instead of plate. My dear friends, look in your house. Could you find a banchu? Some of you must have, but to some, it might be a taboo to find a bangchung in your house. Bangchung was taken to rituals, and bangchung was used as a plate and eaten in it. And later, at the end, like a tiffin box, it was carried home. The foods left were taken and carried home. Now what we are doing? We are using plates that are imported. We are throwing away the food. So many waste when you don't use a local product. My dear friends, this is something that you should really think about when it comes to the skills, preservations, and culture. And there are people who are trying their best to conserve these skills and tradition. If you see in Kenkar or Kangpara, they are trying to make products from bamboo and canes. The products that they make are sold only to tourists, and they also mention that only few Bhutanese choose to buy as a decoration piece. This saddens me as a history teacher. With this note, my next topic, the art of paper making. The art of paper making was practiced long time back in our country. The art of paper making is still there today. The art of paper making is also known as desho. The desho papers were used in the monasteries only to write text. But now you can find it even in the towns. And these papers are used and bought by tourists. Although I do not say that there are no Bhutanese who do not buy it. There are few. What I mean to say is, look at this. How beautiful it is. The incense stick covered by our own traditional paper. As I already said in my earlier session, that whatever art and crafts we have is actually the expression of our own society, expression of our belief, our culture. If we are not proud of our own culture and belief, if we do not preserve it, who will? Tailoring and embroidery, also known as temso, is another craft, another skill that Bhutanese have. Actually, to be very frank, people have preserved tailoring skill over the period of time. Why? Why do you think they have preserved this? It has been passed down. People have been trained. Why do you think? That is because our government has instituted Zorik Chusum to preserve it. We also have to wear the national dress wherever we go. So therefore, we are able to preserve it, which means if a skill is used every day, then we are sure that we will be able to preserve it. When it comes to the tailoring and embroidery or Semso art, the art is divided into three different categories. The three different categories are: number one, Semdrup. Semdrup is an art of embroidery. You must have seen tankas. You must have seen the colorful paintings, painting of tankas that are embroidered. Then you must have seen Hamdrup. Hamdrup is what you call famously the Tholham. Then number three is the art of tailoring, which many have mastered today. Now coming back to the Themdrup. Themdrup is usually practiced by the monk body. Now, as I told you, because of the School of 13 Arts and Crafts or Zorik Chusum, they're able to give this practice to many children, many students who want to learn this skill. Then second, Hamdrup or the Tholham. Tholham is important part of our officials because the official has different colors of Tholham according to the ranks they have. The Tholhams are worn by officials on the festivals and on occasions. For your kind information, my dear student, Tholam was not created just for fashion. It has some meaning and significance behind it. We human beings have three different poisons. The snake represents the anger, pig represents the ignorance, and the rooster represents attachment. If you look at a picture of Tholam here, you would see that these Tholam has this long one represents the snake. The front line of the Tholam looks like a pig's nose, and the side looks like a wing. So the meaning is that when they wear this Tholam, they need to understand that they put the anger, ignorance, and attachment under their feet and they are walking. So this is the significance. With this, to move on to tailoring, as I said, tailoring is very famous in Bhutan because it has become like a everyday work. Therefore, people have mastered this skill of tailoring. Then, to move on further, we have Tazo, the last kind of 13 arts and crafts. Now, weaving or Tazo, this is my favorite topic. Now, why do I say that? Because I myself get to practice this every day. Kira is a perfect, the kira that I'm wearing is a perfect canvas, I feel. As artists, if you see, a kira presents itself, talks about itself, of its expression, its belief, its culture. And I always feel proud of wearing kira. For your information, my dear friends, let me tell you where this art comes from. Khoma in Hinsi is very famously known for Kishu Thara. Then we have other Mata, other Raju, other Kamar. These comes from Shah Ada. Ada is a village in Ondipodrang. Then we have Bure. Bure comes from Radi and Bidung. Then we have Bumtam Matra and Yuta. That comes from Bumtang, which are made from sheep wool and yak wool. And Napchikorfu has succeeded in making knitted fiber. Merak and Sakten also practice this art of weaving. But not to forget, my dear friends, that Cotton is also produced in Bhutan. We can buy cotton from Pemagat Hill. You children have to thank our forefathers that they have preserved this culture. You should also think that these cultures should be preserved and passed down to your further generation. Because in Bhutan right now, what is happening is the arts are dying along with the one who creates it. Each pattern, each pattern that we have here has a meaning. This is the replica of nature. If you see this, if you see this, this is considered and copied from the monkey nail. It looks like a monkey nail holding a tree. Then we have tree of life. I'm sure you must have heard about Shinglo Go and Shinglo Kiras. That is actually the speciality in our culture. Everything has value and meaning behind. With this, I end my lesson, but I want to close my lesson with a quotation. A nation stays alive when its culture stays alive. And I hope, my dear children, that you will keep our nation alive. Thank you very much. My earnest request again, please stay home, maintain the social distance, and please keep yourself updated, and let's fight COVID-19 together.